This, ladies and gentlemen, is the all-new iPad 10.2-inch 9th generation. Not only is this Apple's cheapest iPad, it also happens to be the current champion for battery health, at least according to my battery drain tests. The iPad has come a very long way, and I'd say this iPad is the best tablet for the vast majority of people. No kidding. It's got everything you could ask for in a tablet, and now it comes with minor yet very welcome improvements that make this device an even more well-rounded device, all while still retaining that $329 price point or $299 for education. Not much changes on the exterior, as most of the crucial changes are found inside. And well, you know how we do it on this channel. We're going to go over a tour of the device, some specs, and then go over everything that's new about this all new 9th gen iPad. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. So this time we're going to skip the unboxing since it literally is the exact same experience as last models. I've linked that 8th gen unboxing at the top right in case you want to see that. But inside the box we of course get our all new 10.2-inch iPad, a 20-watt USB-C wall brick, and your USB-C to lightning cable, which now makes this the last remaining iPad to still include the lightning cable. I presume this hasn't made the switch yet, as that would then make the price of the iPad inflate, which is not what Apple wants, as they very much like to gear this iPad towards the more casual consumer. Luckily, one very welcome change that I was very happy about during the reveal on Apple's live stream was that the base storage has now been doubled. The iPad 10.2-inch now comes in either a 64GB variant for $329, or your only other option is a 256GB model for $479. Slap on an additional $130 if you wish to get your iPad with cellular connectivity. This time around, the budget iPad sees a downgrade in terms of color selection. Gone is the rosier gold offering, and instead we now only have two colors, silver and space gray. However, you'll notice there's something odd about the silver model. Can't really put my finger on it. Oh wait, the crap happened to our white front on the silver model. I literally have no clue why this was done. To be 100% honest, when I initially unboxed this, I thought I had a really rare manufacturing error device or something. But no, for the budget line, you only have a singular front glass color, black, which, I don't know, looks kind of cool on the silver, but I would have much preferred to have the option for a white glass front. It doesn't really matter though, as the black bezels help for your media to fade away into the background anyway. Our screen is still this beautiful and pretty large 10.2-inch Retina screen. Again, you'll notice based off its design language that it's starting to look pretty aged. You still have a home button, which in 2021 may or may not get you roasted, as well as, surprise, surprise, a 3.5mm headphone jack. The f*** is that still doing in 2021? This isn't the all-body liquid Retina display and still has the rather large bezels, but honestly, that shouldn't matter because this is the budget model, so it's assumed you shouldn't expect any of the more advanced or even pro features of the more expensive tablets. Our screen resolution remains the same at 2160 by 1620 pixels, good for 264 pixels per inch. Your max brightness is still in line with most of the others at 500 nits sustained max brightness, which is pretty bright for indoors, and outdoors should provide with enough lighting so that light reflection isn't too big of a deal. Our display is still not laminated to our front glass, and it always bugs me. For those that aren't tech geeks, what I mean by this, if you look at your iPad closely and at an angle, you'll see that it appears that there's a tiny air gap in between the glass and actual screen. All of the other offerings across Apple's iPad line do have a fully laminated display, and it shouldn't affect your viewing experience all too much if you even happen to notice at all. It's just that a laminated display eliminates that small gap so that you can view your content more vividly, and while using the Apple Pencil, it'll feel more natural on the more expensive models, like you're actually writing on the glass. We also do not feature an anti-reflective coating on this display like you would on the more expensive models. But, very big but here, we do have a pretty nice upgrade to our display in the form of True Tone. True Tone is nothing new. As a matter of fact, it's been featured on Apple's products for many years now. True Tone can be used to either automatically or manually shift the color temperature of your display to accommodate your surroundings. For example, around bedtime, you might not want all that blue light shining in your face and potentially hurting your eyes in the long run. Instead, you can warm up the screen, so to speak, to give it a crisper, more calming appearance, and above all, be easier on the eyes. It's a very welcome feature that I'm glad finally made it onto the budget iPad. Internally, we also feature our obligatory spec bump, because how funny would it be for Apple to reuse the same chip 2 years in a row? This time, we see Apple's A13 Bionic with the Neural Engine versus the A12 found inside the previous model. As compared to the mighty A15 found in the new Mini, the A13 is by no means a slouch and still a very commendable chipset for 2021, especially at this price point. Apple promises up to a 20% increase in CPU and GPU performance over its predecessor. So that means gaming and all of your daily tasks will be snappier and faster than ever. Obviously, you wouldn't expect monster performance like the likes of the M1 found inside the iPad Pros. However, the A13 will easily handle almost everything you throw at it, I promise. Our back camera remains untouched and unchanged, still sporting a pretty lousy 8 megapixel wide camera sensor with an f2.4 aperture that will take your standard photos. I mean, when buying an iPad, I don't think many people expect an amazing camera on this thing. If anything, I feel the front camera is used way more than the back camera for things such as Zoom or FaceTime, and thankfully, Apple did upgrade the front camera in a pretty big way. For starters, we go from a 1.2 megapixel FaceTime HD camera to a whopping 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with an f2.4 aperture. Talk about a huge upgrade to your selfie game. The front camera is now able to record in 1080p 25, 30, or 60 FPS, and more importantly, now has support for center stage. That really cool feature where the front camera follows you to a certain degree so that you're almost always in frame while on a video conference or on FaceTime with your children, significant other, etc. Everything else though, for the most part, unchanged. This is your classic incremental upgrade, but I do feel that this year the improvements are bigger than they usually are. So to recap, the big changes this year: twice the storage for the same great price of $329, starting at 64 gigabytes, and configurable up to 256 gigabytes with the optional cellular coverage. Only two color options, space gray and silver, with oddly same black glass front on both models. No redesign, so still features our pretty recycled design with Touch ID that is starting to look a bit archaic, not gonna lie. It's just how quickly tech evolves. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, A13 Bionic versus the A12 for an estimated 20% increase in performance. True Tone, better front camera, and center stage integration are the main new features that I find most relevant. You can still purchase the optional Apple Pencil first generation to still appear like a tweaker and charge this unicorn style. You can still purchase the smart keyboard separately to elevate your iPad experience as well. Of course, this isn't the last you'll see of this. I still have plenty of testing on the 9th gen iPad to do. Not only will this be featured again for volume 4 of my iPad battery drain test, but I also plan to make a should you upgrade video comparing this to the last generation plus more. Definitely drop any video ideas you might have in the comments below. And just like that, folks, that's been my review of the all-new iPad 9th generation. On the exterior, it might look like the same, and quite frankly, it might be on the exterior at least, but on the inside is where we see a ton of welcome upgrades. Now that you know everything that's new, you'll be able to decide if this is the right iPad for you. By the way, I'm not a rapper. Or whether you might want to get something else like the Air or Pro. In any case, I have reviews on all of them, so make sure to check out those videos found on my channel as well. Until next time, guys, give me your thoughts on the new 9th gen iPad down below. If you already have the 8th gen, are you going to upgrade? If this is your first time ever buying an iPad, are you interested in this 9th gen iPad with all the new upgrades? It's always a pleasure to bring you guys all these tech videos regardless. Thank you all so much for all the support, and I'll catch you all in the next one.